What's going on, guys? It's been a while. Yeah, I was on vacation, so I apologize for the long delay this week. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about Bitcoin today and really zoom into what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to start with the daily, actually. Alright, so we got a buy signal on the daily with the market cipher indicator. Now, the money flow is still in the red. But at the end of the day, we did get this like divergence back on the 17th of June, and it's been kind of playing out. Now, we did have this little mini trigger wave right here that did kick off. Let me zoom out here so you can actually see here. It did kind of kick off this like next second wind, if you will, right after the bounce off of the supply line zone here. So that's pretty cool. Also, on the TSI, we did kind of have that fake out that I was kind of like talking about, I believe last week was, yes, we did get that cross, and eventually, momentum did kind of wane, but ultimately we did kind of get that cross back to the upside. Ultra fake out zone, the zero line on the TSI. So, yeah, it's looking more definitive that we're most likely going to see continuation to the upside within the coming days. Now, let me go to the MACD. So the MACD finally crossed the zero line and back tested the slow moving average as support, and we're kind of getting another leg to the upside. Yeah, and also on the TSI, we are getting confirmation that as long as price is above 22.2K, price will most definitely see further upside. Also on the MACD-X here, we did have a fake out to where we eventually just did pivot to the upside. Now, when the MACD-X's slow-moving average, which is this red line, is actually above the zero line, it's just easier for bulls to push price up as opposed to for the bears to push price down. So sometimes these, especially when these sell signals are so close to the zero line, it's harder to take them more seriously. Like you want to take them more seriously when they're higher up, more so like in the 1,000 number mark, or even like as low as the 600 mark. But anyway. Yeah, so the faster moving averages on the daily chart look rather promising. We did have this bounce off of the bearish control zone, which is phenomenal. And yeah, the RSI is moving to the upside overall. Now, what's great about the TMA on the daily is that we are nowhere near the oversold mark, by no means. So this is a positive indication for me to expect higher prices. Now, you could probably get better entries, of course, the more you zoom in from a daily perspective to like an intraday perspective. But yeah, from a overall outlook of what's going on here, I do perceive price to actually continue to the upside. Now, let me now zone in on the 4-hour chart here, which would make more sense in regards to what's going on. So, where I left off, I believe, was this channel. So what happened was this channel actually did end up playing out. Now, if you zoom in to these candle patterns, and you could probably see it better on the hourly, so I'm going to put it on the hourly. So when price broke down below the hourly, it did create this like falling channel, which is actually pretty bullish. Just the fact that it broke back in, and then we got a 921 EMA cross, and after that, it was just like smooth sailing to the upside, which was pretty phenomenal. Yeah, and if you notice, price bounced exactly off of the supply line that I had targeted months ago, so it's nice to see consistency in regards to these things. But yeah, once we overtook 21.6, it was just off to the races to the upside. Now we are at a critical zone of resistance at this time, but yeah, I'm going to go back to the 4-hour here. So from the 4-hour perspective, we are kind of in the oversold zone. But what's kind of interesting here is that we are seeing another leg of buyers come in. As you can see, the money flow going from red to green. So gotta see how that plays out at the end of the day. On the TSI perspective, same thing. We are kind of nearing the overbought zone. So as far as like early entries at this time, from my perspective, not financial advice, it's just not a good idea from my perspective to be opening up fresh longs in these particular zones. Now, the reason I say that is because as you can see here on the MACD, bullish momentum is starting to wane. We did get a cross, we did get a MACD cross, which is phenomenal, but we are kind of in the process of momentum going down, so I'd rather see another leg to the upside kind of begin as opposed to like going into a consolidation period. Now the TSI does show positivity here, so as long as price is above 23.1k, we're pretty solid. So that's good to see. Also, do not see any form of momentum waning on the MACD-X either. Now, the RSI is in an interesting situation because we are in the bullish control zone. So the RSI works a little bit differently. Although I do have the bullish control zone red, it's just when the RSI is in the bullish control zone, it's just easier for it's easier for bulls to actually maintain positive trajectories to the upside as opposed to the downside. Usually when the RSI crosses down outside of the bullish control zone, that's when I start being more cautious, and where I'll either close longs or I'll actually initiate shorting opportunities, particularly on the 4-hour, 2-hour specifically. But yeah, okay, interesting. So the TMA is actually nearing the overbought zone, which is pretty intriguing. Hasn't really created a lower high at this time. As you can see, we do have these attempts here, so that's kind of wild how that's kind of played out. It's like a straight shot to the upside, which is pretty intriguing. I think it was really that channel break that really kind of set the tone for the upside here. I believe, yeah, right here was that huge bullish engulfing candle that broke out of this channel here and is just initiating. I'm gonna go to the 1-hour now, and kind of just close it out this way. I'm gonna keep it rather short today. Yeah, so as you can see, we do have a bearish divergence at this time, so that's something to keep in mind, as well as ultimately there is resistance playing out. This is a crucial zone. From my perspective, I would like to see some form of maybe even a retest at these levels. Possibly. I mean, this is a little too narrow for my taste of a pump, so I'd rather see maybe like maybe even a back test of this, because really this was never back tested as support. This diagonal top side resistance of this channel here. So that's something to keep a lookout on. I am seeing some bearish divergence here on multiple indicators. Also on the TSI, as you can see, we do have a high, then a low, then we have a low and a high. So that's not conducive to positive price action at this time. So I'm expecting to see a consolidation phase. Now, can we see price get back to maybe like 21.8 and see a bounce from there? Because as soon as that resistance was broken, it was just a shot to the upside. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised seeing something like that fall into place. Now, which is interesting here is that 22.5 was kind of back test as support, as you can see from this like wick here. So that's rather interesting. Can you classify that as being a high or low situation at 22.8? From my perspective, from where that was at, I mean, it's just a little too drastic of this move. So I would expect, frankly, at least some pullback and really kind of creating a solid line of support here. I'm happy, not gonna lie, that we did have this support line right here at 20.7, so that's good. But yeah, as far as resistances are concerned, 24.1 once again is getting tested, and yeah, 23.8, which is pretty pivotal. It's been a pretty consistent line of resistance for the past couple months, so at this time it's really hard to like open up fresh longs near this. I would much rather see a reset on the TSI and a reset on the market cipher indicator on the 15-minute at the very least to maybe potentially open up a long, but that is nowhere near. As you can see on the 15-minute, it's more apparent that it's just getting more common to see resistances at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait and see on that long opportunity. Yeah, but going here just to close it out on the MACD, we are getting a lower high situation, it seems. So that isn't too great if you're in a current long. Good if you're in a short. Um, but yeah, also here, as long as price is below 23.955.5, you can bet to see prices go lower. And we do have a confirmed divergence right here as well on the MACD X. Also, we are starting to see lower highs on the RSI on the 1 hour, so that's not too hot. Could potentially be seeing a new lower low here on the RSI as well. The TMA as well has been in the overbought zone for some time. It is crossing down, which is a pretty bearish move. So from the hourly perspective, I would say that the positive momentum to the upside is pretty much dissipated, and we're most likely going to see a consolidation to possibly see it potentially a higher low situation, so we got to see what happens. But yeah, at this time, I'm gonna leave it at that. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you haven't already, please yeah, like the video on your way out. But yeah, have a great rest of the day, and peace out. Bye.